We're going to reveal the invisible architecture of persuasion. And think about it. You're scrolling online, you read a few lines, and next thing you know, you're reaching for your credit card. It feels like a total impulse, right? A sudden desire. But what if I told you that feeling, that sudden urge to buy, wasn't sudden at all? That's right, the most persuasive copy you read isn't just good with words, it's psychologically engineered. It is a deliberate, carefully constructed architecture that's built to guide your thinking, usually without you even realizing there's a blueprint. So how in the world do they do it? Well, it all starts way before a single word of copy is even written. The very first step is to create a detailed psychological map of you, the audience. It's about understanding not just what you want, but how your mind actually works. This is the secret to why it can feel so personal, so eerily accurate. See, they've dug through customer reviews. They've read forum discussions. They've analyzed survey answers to understand the exact words you use, the fears you have, and the hopes you might not even say out loud. They're literally using your own thoughts to build a profile. And this really boils down to two fundamental human drivers. Are you running away from a problem you're desperate to solve, or are you running towards a goal you really, really want to achieve? Every single one of us falls into one of these two camps for any given decision. And a great copywriter knows exactly which one is driving you in that moment. And you can see the signals everywhere once you know what to look for. If you see phrases like stop struggling or eliminate the pain, you know that copy is targeting your desire to get away from a problem. But if you see stuff like imagine achieving or unlock your potential, it's tapping right into your aspirations. Next step, they have to figure out how to get you to trust them. So just think about it for a second. What convinces you? Are you the kind of person who needs to see the cold, hard data, the stats, the percentages? Or are you more persuaded by a powerful story, a journey you can see yourself in? And here's what those two different approaches look like in the wild. One creates an emotional connection through a story. The other one builds logical certainty with data. The key is effective copy doesn't guess which one you prefer. It already knows which language of proof you speak. All right, so they've mapped your mind. They know how you think. Now they need to create the emotional fuel to get you to make a decision. And they do this using a really powerful and honestly counterintuitive technique. It's something called the void mechanism. And the core idea here is simple. You can't just create desire out of thin air. You can only shine a big, bright spotlight on a desire or need that already exists. It's all about making you feel that gap, that space between where you are right now and where you could be. You see, the whole engine of desire runs on one thing, comparison. By strategically showing you the gap between your present situation and a much better potential future, the copy creates this productive discomfort. It's a tension that only taking action can actually resolve. This is a classic, the before versus after framework. It starts by holding up a mirror to your current reality, the pain, the 4 hours a day you're wasting. Then it paints this incredibly vivid picture of a better future. That huge contrast is what creates the urgency and makes the solution seem so valuable. And then there's this one, the with versus without framework. This presents you with a crossroads, a clear fork in the road. One path leads to the future you want. The other path leads to, well, exactly where you are today. It frames doing nothing, not as a safe choice, but as an active decision to stay stuck. It forces you to think about the cost of inaction. So they've mapped your mind, they've created that void, but there's one last major hurdle to overcome, your own natural skepticism. And this is where the techniques get really, really clever. They're designed to work with your brain's resistance, not against it. See, we all have this internal security guard, right? And its only job is to protect us from making bad decisions, from losing money, from taking a risk on something new. Anytime you feel that hesitation before you buy something, that's your safety system on high alert. Now, a novice copywriter tries to just shout down that security guard with hype and big promises. But a master copywriter, they respect it. Instead of fighting that system, they just give it new information. They completely reframe the entire idea of what's safe and what's risky. They do this by putting a giant price tag on your problem. All of a sudden, it's not some vague frustration anymore. It's a concrete financial loss. This number, for instance, could represent $180,000 in revenue that's being lost every single year simply by not fixing an issue. Now, doing nothing doesn't feel safe, does it? It feels incredibly expensive. And this is the final move. It's the checkmate. This question reframes the entire decision. That smaller $2,000 investment is positioned as the way to avoid the much, much larger loss. Suddenly, the purchase becomes the safest, most logical choice to protect yourself from the ongoing risk of doing nothing at all. So after all that, what's the big takeaway here? How can you use this as a new lens to see all the marketing and all the words that are flying at you every day? It really comes down to a simple 3-step sequence. First, you map the mind to create that psychological blueprint. Second, you use comparison to create the void between where someone is and where they want to be. And third, you reframe the risk so that taking action feels safer than doing nothing. Now, the point of all this is not to make you cynical, it's to make you aware. Because when you understand the architecture of persuasion, you can appreciate the craft behind it, you can resist the messages that don't serve you, and you can even apply these principles ethically to make your own communication way more powerful. And that really leaves us with the final and most important question. These tools are incredibly powerful. In the right hands, they connect real solutions to the people who desperately need them. But when does guiding a decision cross that line into outright manipulation? Now that you can see the architecture, you get to decide,